Is cold email actually dead? In this video, I'm going to answer this question once and for all and show you the strategies that actually work in 2024 and 2025. I've sent millions of emails across the campaigns we run for clients at ColdIQ. I've gotten 57% reply rate, a 45% connection acceptance rate on LinkedIn, and tripled my reply rate when I implemented this one thing. Keep watching to find out what it is. Is cold email dead? Every week, I see someone who sucks at cold email asking this question. But why do so many people believe that? It's simple, because they are not getting the results they want. Too many people are still sending cold emails that honestly deserve to be ignored. If you're blasting out thousands of generic emails to unqualified leads, pushing products no one's needs, or focusing on personalization gimmicks that have nothing to do with your prospect real problems, you are going to get ignored. No amount of fancy data enrichment or hyper personalization can fix that. Right now, people are as resistant as ever to cold email because they're getting too many emails. Companies have more and more SDRs on their payroll that are sending more emails than ever, but this isn't necessarily translating to more sales. This happens all the time in sales and marketing when something is new and exciting. It works really well, but if something works well, it becomes saturated really fast. And once that happens, its effectiveness goes down and you need to evolve to stay alive. SDRs and cold emailers are desperately trying to find new ways to make it work. So they're personalizing their cold emails to the point where it's a little out of control. I even have seen people give restaurant recommendations after finding the location of the prospect, sending riddles to the CMO and the answers to those riddles to the head of sales. And they're just making the same mistakes so many cold emailers make. But there is a solution, and it's not sending more emails or hiring a private investigator so you can write even more personalized emails. I have a way to cut through all that noise and only focus on what matters most. The mistake cold emailers and SDRs are making is losing sight of what outbound is really about. At its core, you have a solution to a problem that these business owners are facing. That's it. And if you are not relevant or not providing a solution, they have absolutely zero reason to care, and it won't matter that you remember the cat's name. What about successful outbound strategies? Let's dive into the 3-step cold email strategy that I used to get the results I mentioned earlier. First and foremost, relevance is always more important than personalization. You need to be relevant. Let's be clear. Knowing the prospect's favorite sports team or where they went to high school may be personalized, but if your offer or your email have nothing to do with their business pain point, it doesn't matter. Personalization grabs their attention, but relevance actually books meetings. That's why relevance will always beat personalization. Outbound isn't about how clever or personalized you can get. It's about showing the prospect that you actually understand the issues they face and have a real solution that matters to them. So in your email copy, address specific problems. Mention a problem you know your prospect is facing and discuss their KPIs and priorities. Make it all about them. What if I told you that there was a way to make sure your emails are relevant? What if you could know if a prospect was actually interested in your offer before you even email them? This is where we get into triggers. This is what single-handedly tripled my response rate. A trigger is a signal from a prospect that they're interested in your product or service. For example, you notice the CEO of company XYZ just interacted with a post about outbound strategy on LinkedIn. This might be a good moment to start engaging with him about outbound services. Maybe someone engaged with your post or visited your website. Now it's the perfect time to reach out to them. Because not only they are showing interest, but now you actually have a reason to reach out to them that is personalized and relevant. Let's take this as an example. Hey, I just noticed you commented on my LinkedIn post about XYZ. Is achieving this specific result or fixing this specific problem currently on your radar this quarter? Now this is just scratching the surface of triggers. In fact, I identified 37 sales triggers that you can use to supercharge your outbound. Things like funding rounds, leadership changes, office expansions, releasing new products, increased hiring. If you want the full list, comment below and I will actually send the list to you. So in your outbound emails, always try to find a trigger. This will add relevance and personalization, which is the ultimate combo. If you can identify and monitor data points that indicate that a prospect is in the market for your product or solution, there is a very high chance that you will get an answer. Imagine you're the head of marketing at a B2B SaaS company that just secured a 10 million funding round. Which email would you be more likely to respond to? Email 1. Hi John, I saw you are a huge Lakers fan. Have you been following the season so far? By the way, you're crushing it in the software industry. We help companies just like yours get more leads through our email outreach software. Are you interested in learning more? Now let's see email 2. Hi John, congrats on your Series A. We know that companies usually need external help for lead generation at this time. I recently helped XYZ company triple its lead generation through automated outbound. Would love to see if we can help you do the same for you this quarter. Let me know if yes, and I can send you a 2-minute Loom video explaining the game plan. This example should clearly show that email email 2 is the winner because it's relevant to their business and what they're experiencing right now, which also means it's personalized. But there is more to it than that. The other benefit of email 2, it's direct and it gets to the point quickly. I don't know about you, but I find emails like email 1 a little fluffy. Email 1 should also highlight one of the other problems with irrelevant personalization. Do you notice how difficult it is to get the email back on track to your offer? When you start the email off with something that is so far from what you're actually emailing them about, you have such a big gap to close. This means it takes longer to get to the point, making the email longer and resulting in more prospects closing or deleting the email before you have even mentioned who you are and what you want to do. This is why triggers are a game changer. But triggers can be time consuming to find and scrape manually. So instead of scouting LinkedIn for hours each day, you can use a tool like Common Room to automate this process and monitor these data points for you. Now, triggers don't just have to be interactions with your own content or website, but that's ideal. It's why I strongly recommend posting content consistently so you have more prospects interacting with you and your business. This will not only give you inbound leads, but it will also help you utilize the outbound strategy I use that is far more effective than traditional cold email. This is what we call inbound-led outbound. That brings me to point number 3. Inbound-led outbound is the holy grail of cold email. And the reason it works so well is because it's not completely cold. The prospect already knows about you and your company. Here is a very simple inbound-led outbound strategy that you can implement to transform your business. This strategy is what me and my co-founder used to build our 3 million per year agency, and the beauty of it is that you can get both inbound and outbound leads from it. Step number 1, find out what platform your ICP is on, then start posting consistent content. Do not treat it as a sales channel. Post genuinely helpful content and people will reach out and engage with it. Step 2, when a prospect engages with your post, use this trigger to reach out to them with a message or email. Tell them why you're reaching out. This is a super simple way to make it personalized and relevant. You want to show that you are not sending the same generic message to everyone. Include details specific to their company, role, or interest to prove you have taken the time to understand their situation. Step 3, automate the process. Here's another example. This is a real-life workflow I use that turn website visitors into hot leads. So first of all, when a visitor lands on your website, this is a trigger that can give you relevance and personalization when reaching out. Step number 2, our B2B is going to identify them for you. Step number 3, Clay enriches and qualifies the prospects. Step number 4, AI craft a personalized message that is going to be relevant because they've already indicated an interest and you have a reason to reach out to them. So you are not a complete stranger. Step number 5, Lemlist automates the LinkedIn outreach. And then step number 6, you actually close deals. The results, a 45% connection acceptance rate with a fully automated process. So here's an example of a real workflow we've actually built for a seller at ColdIQ that's booking more or less 1 meeting per day. So here what we do is that we're going to identify all the visitors coming on the website, and we can even figure out which page of our website actually visited. So we get the page visited, we get all the information about the prospects, we find the company name, we can find the LinkedIn profile. For the companies where we cannot find a domain, we're going to use Clay Agent, which is a feature inside of Clay to actually find the domain of the website visitor. Then we're going to verify if the email is valid. If not, then we're actually going to do some enrichment to actually finding the best email to reach out to the prospect. We're going to check if they're already in our HubSpot, because if they're in our HubSpot, we actually don't want to contact them because they're already maybe in the sales pipeline. Then we're going to enrich the company, find as much information as we can, company size, company description, the industry, the country. And then here we created like a series of prompts that based on all those criteria that you can see here. So the company name, the enriched domain, the industry, the employee count, the company description. We're actually gonna decide if the company is tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3, or is it plain unqualified? Because based on this, we're gonna decide which offer we're gonna pitch them and which one of our rep is actually gonna talk to them. And so here the goal is to find as many tier 1 as possible. And if both the company and the person are actually classified as tier 1, then we're actually gonna find the GTM leaders from that company in Apollo, and then we're gonna use Lemlist to automatically connect with them on LinkedIn so they can start seeing our content. And on top of that, we're actually gonna send them an automated email using Instantly. So here it is. No more cold outreach to strangers. You are reaching out to people who have already shown an interest. So in that sense, cold email as we know it is dead. But if you follow the steps in this video, then cold email isn't dead. It just got a little warmer. And I can actually walk you through the exact cold email workflow I use to book 2 calls per week in this video. See you there.